Y'all have questions, and I got answers. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Majora, and I'm out here today for January 2022 Q&A segment. I'm going to answer all the questions that y'all have left in the Discord server, Sworn Brothers, where you can head over now to go ahead and leave me a question for next time. I also like to post updates for the channel, as well as any uploads and community table topics. And before I get into today's Q&A as well, please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. I like addressing all these kind of gaming related topics, questions, content, etc. And we got some great questions today, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's dig right in with the first one from Mr. Multimaster. Hey, what's up, brother? What's the longest you are willing to play video games in one sitting? This is quite an interesting coincidence. I just finished playing SMT5 on my Nintendo Switch until the battery died. I played it from 100% to 0. Granted, I have the standard model Switch, and the battery life on that thing is about 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on the brightness setting and your volume and everything. I don't know, but I got a good 3 hours out of it, and I think that's about my ideal anyway. I think any longer than that, and I start to just kind of get sweaty and gross, and I also just feel uncomfortable. I feel like I've been slouching for a while. But I also find that anything less than that, if I do an hour of a game, that's very typical. That's what I usually do, is about an hour of gameplay, and then I tend to lose my focus. Now, I don't know if that's saying something about me or about the games that I play, because I think what happens is if I get bored, I just want to turn on a different game or something. And part of that's actually criticism of the hardwares as well, because it's just so easy to switch over to another game. But lo and behold, if I got a game that I really feel super empowered in, and I have control, and I'm getting everything I want, aka SMT5, I'm not even going to have that temptation. And so for me, an ideal amount of time is probably a good 3 hours. I've done longer. I've done live streams for Link to the Past where it took me 5.5 hours to finish the game. But yeah, 3 hours is a good time. Good time. Great time, Multimaster. Thank you. Next one comes from Revolver Axolot from the Metal Gear series. Metal Gear. Are you into the idea of VR? What would get you into VR? Virtua Racing? Hell yeah, that's a great game on the Sega Saturn. But I know he's talking about Virtual Reality by Jamiroquai. Another hit song. No, I'm joking. I'm just messing with you. VR, Virtual Reality. I have the PSVR, and quite frankly, it doesn't work very well for me. It takes me about 15 minutes to get my eyes adjusted, and then by the time it's all set up, I just want to do something else. So I've had bad experiences with VR, but I'm not totally against it. I've also really liked the 3D feature on the 3DS. I used to put that into great effect with games like Star Fox or 3D Galaxy Force, or even Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Nowadays, I just use the 2DS, so I don't even have that feature. But I'm intrigued. What would get me into VR? I think seeing some of those luscious environments that lush and luscious. Does luscious work here? I know lush works, but those lush and beautiful environments from video games that I like, that kind of give you that kind of serenity. I think Zelda Ocarina of Time, going through Kokiri Forest or Hyrule. And, if they put a little bit more life into it, if they used the engine that was a bit more on the Unreal side, you know what I mean? Then it would be really a spectacle. And I think bringing those kind of endearing classics to life in that way would be awesome. But it can't be a half-assed device either. Because the PSVR, forget it. I don't care if it's Ocarina or not. I'm not trying to get a headache into that. But if I really feel like I'm in this world, like a Nintendo world, not to critique on the amusement park or anything, but I think that is when I would really buy into this concept. So that's my thoughts on VR as it stands today. Thanks, Axel. Bio Phoenix, would I get an RV though? Yeah, why not? I would get an RV. As long as, it didn't cost too much. Have you found any good smaller YouTube channels in the past few months? Yeah, that's a great question to bring up. I actually, I think I've been a bit on the lesser of the content consumption side, but that doesn't mean I haven't found some good channels along the way. Definitely shout out to I Got Kings, Mr. Brian. I mentioned him maybe a couple times, but he is a smaller channel and he does live streams just about like every day. He plays some classic games. He plays some, mostly classic games. And I don't know. He's one of the nicest people too. He's just such a gentleman. He's very like accommodating with his stream, and he's also done Button Mapper response for like the Castlevania month, and I think he's just a really cool person to have like in the community. So I Got Kings. Another cool guy who I've been checking out recently, I think he came to me through VG Mashup, is Goal Pain. Goal Pain has been very like, I don't know, every time I post a video, he's like checking it out, leaving a nice comment. So like, that stuff like that goes a long way. And I think when you are a smaller channel, even like myself, that it does bring a bit more purpose into what you do. So I really appreciate that about Gold Pain. And then also in terms of the content that he puts out on his channel, some very interesting and thought-provoking stuff. I really like the video responses. He's big into doing the video responses and all of these topical sort of things. He did one just about like, how do you come up with video topics? And I think he's just, he's a very interesting person in that regard. There was one more I was thinking. I can't think of it off the top of my head, though. You know what? Ask that question again in a couple months, and I'll have some more answers for you. But in the meantime, it's I Got Kings and Gold Pain. Check out their channels if you haven't already. Thanks, Bio. All right, next one comes from none other than VG Mashup. Mash it up. What is one unannounced Nintendo title that you hope to hear about in 2022? Well, what exists? What are the Nintendo IPs? I don't know, because Metroid Prime 4, obviously, I think that's been that was announced a while ago. So there's that. That would be exciting for me. Obviously, an F-Zero game, a Star Fox game, those would be enticing. A new Mario game. I think I don't know, more 2D Marios, and they don't need to be I think a more pixely kind of like the Mario Lands or something, I think we should go back to that style. I'm kind of sick of the new Mario Bros style. I'm not about it. So, that would be cool. I mean, Kirby's coming out, so that's going to be awesome. I wasn't that interested in Pokemon's, the Pokemons that have come out. So I don't know about that. And then Fire Emblem is okay. I don't know. I really don't have a great answer for that one. I do like your next question though, so let's address that. Does Pokemon Arceus interest you? Did you know it's pronounced Arceus? They were saying it on commercials on Hulu nonstop, and they were saying Pokemon Arceus coming soon. And I was like, I've been saying it the wrong way my whole life. Okay. It's okay. Arceus isn't my favorite legendary anyway. Does it interest me? Meh. I want to be more interested, but I think just coming fresh off of SMT 5, oh God, that game is so robust. And I just know going into Pokemon Arceus that it's going to be underwhelming, and that's a sad truth. I think I would still play it, I'd still be interested, but I think it kind of lacks, just on impressions, I haven't played it, so let's get that disclaimer out of the way. Some personality. I think it's a little devoid, and I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I would like to be proven wrong, but I'm just worried that it's going to be a bit lackluster. The other thing that annoys me is they make these games too handholdy. The XP share thing just makes it way too easy. And, SMT5 does it in a great way in terms of scaling, because they have, your demons will get XP as well, but, the game is still balls to the wall hard, and, it's going to make you work for it. Pokemon doesn't tend to make you work with it with the newer releases. The older ones did, but I'm worried it's going to be too easy. I'm worried it doesn't have much personality. Oh, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I just don't know if I want to take that $55 hit to see. So if I run out of stuff to play, I'll check it out. I like Pokemon too. That's such a travesty. Emperor Palpatine, aka Alex of Turbo Zone. Turbo, what's the worst game you ever reviewed and why? Well, on your channel it was Gunducky Industries. That game sucked. That was like I don't even, it barely functioned, but I played it. I actually have my review playlist up. Let's go through it. This doesn't count, the cooking trainer, because that's not really like a review. I think it's Fire Emblem Echoes. I do tend to like Fire Emblem, but I think that one had some identity issues, especially in terms of like the actual SRPG combat. There were some units that would just like, it would endlessly respawn on the battlefield, and like, I don't know. It actually made some of the battles draw out. It was just like padding. There were elements that I thought had potential and that I kind of liked. This 3D like dungeon crawler segments. They didn't really do much with it, but like those were cool. The characters were awesome. I tended to like the characters a lot. But I think when the core element of your genre is like the strategy and like the actual skirmishes, it fell short. It was a kind of a sad state, because I genuinely enjoyed Awakening, and I think I would enjoy the other ones on 3DS too, but that one was weird. So yeah, that's not my favorite game. And I tend not to review games that I just put down, or like I don't finish games that I don't like a lot of times. So I don't review them. That was when I finished. I was like interested to see the end. Yeah, I'd say you could take a pass on it, but it's an interesting game, especially if you like want to try it. So, meh. Cool. SNES Mapper, mapping out the SNES. What are your thoughts on the acquisition power that Microsoft has? Any concerns? No, I'm not too concerned. They've been able to use that power and that purchasing power for a long time now. I don't think that as much as like, the Xbox is very much a brand and really good at getting people to spend money on the service and on the hardware, or even now like on the computer, their primary demographic is in terms of computer products. I mean, as far as I understand, the Microsoft Windows, etc. I don't think that Xbox is what made that brand or that company, the like giga rich institution that it is. I don't think that they'll ruin like gaming as it is. So I don't know. To be honest, should probably just throw some money on the stocks for Microsoft. They seem to be doing quite well. I don't have an opinion on what like they'll do with Activision or Blizzard. I honestly, I just thought that they bought them just for the sake of like building a monopoly. I don't know that they want to do anything with them. I know like when they bought Rare, essentially Rare's just been a dud. I mean, it's great that you can play Banjo-Kazooie and a lot of the Rareware classics on the Xbox, but that came at a sensitive time. Like we could still have a Banjo 3E in my eyes today. When they made Nuts and Bolts, I viewed it as a slap in the face to a Banjo-Kazooie fan, somebody who loves that series. Now, I understand that it's a decent game in and of its own right, but it felt like robbery, because I loved 2E. I thought it was just great. And I think they allude to 3E in the end. So I'm not worried because what's left to tarnish at this rate? I think that I'm not going to say that the gaming industry is saturated, but it's replete. There's so much to enjoy and to pick and choose from. I don't even think I care about like future console iterations. It doesn't matter to me. I can't see, I might get them for the novelty or the gimmick, but I've got entertainment for the rest of my life, and so what will Microsoft do to ruin that? Unless they come barging in on my house and say we have to confiscate those N64 games, I don't think there's much they could do. So Yeah, I don't. It doesn't much matter to me. Do you predict Nintendo or Sega will ever be bought by a major company like Microsoft or Google? Well, that's interesting. Nintendo, not so much. I think they're very much sustainable on their own right. And I think they follow a lot of the capitalistic models that work for better or worse, things you may like or may dislike. And they've always managed to kind of stand on their own. They may go through waves. They may have hard times, like with the Wii U or whatever, but they always kind of bounce back. So I predict Nintendo, at least over the next 10, 20 years, we'll be fine. Anything after that is too far to predict. You never know what'll happen. But I also think that their legacy, when we look back at, like, I guess some of the shadier practices in some of these institutions, I don't really hear about that from Nintendo. Not even from Nintendo of America. Like, what controversies exist? They don't. It's mostly benign. Sega, on the other hand, I don't know that they have the assets to continue to, like. They have, like, the IPs. They have the properties. But I don't know that they have the financial assets to be standing with the big guys. You know what I mean? So I think it's very possible that they could get bought out. And I would see, like, maybe Microsoft buying them. And would I be concerned about that? Maybe. Honestly, Microsoft has a bunch of Sega games, like, on the Xbox. A bunch of ones I've downloaded are pretty much like, Sega games. I got Panzer Dragoon Orta. I got this interesting game called Soul Seraph. And, I don't know. That's a Sega game. It kind of reminds me of, like, ActRaiser or something. So I could see Sega getting bought out. I don't know. By Google, though, no. I don't think they'd sign off on that. Microsoft, though, I could see it. What are your wants for Pokemon Arceus? You know what? I just want to be wrong. I want it to be a damn good game. And I don't think it will be. I don't expect a groundbreaking story, but I want it to have, like, fun monster taming mechanics. My threshold is so high right now, coming off of Shin Megami Tensei 3 and 5. I've played both quite recently. And so I don't expect it to hold up to either of those, but I just want something deeper out of my RPGs. The exploration had better be rewarding. There better be some good stuff, like, hidden around, because that area, like, all the like, settings in SMT5, I don't even know what to call them, but the I guess, like, the exploration areas, whatever. There's so much to do. There's so many subquests. There's so many hidden, like, things, like glory crystals and, like, these little me-man demons, and it's just, like, it's so engaging and interesting and makes me really, like, go through the territories. There's, like, one area where it's like there's, like, trains that you, like, collapsed trains you're walking across, and like, Magatsui's, like, on the ground, and, like, you could see the demons, like, in front of you. Game's so good. I'm loving SMT right now. I'm almost done with my second playthrough. So I don't know. I don't even want to play Pokemon Arceus. I'm in a bad spot right now with that. I get it. I'm interested. I think it's not going to hold a candle. I'm sorry. SMT5 is good. It's a really good game. I'm going to do a whole massive video on SMT5, and I will probably live stream a speedrun soon. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, moving on. Emperor Palpatine, aka Turbozone. Terry has labeled me the Pope of Sega. Does this title fit me? Well, the Pope preaches on all things Sega. Can you tell me about the MSX? Can you tell me about the Master System? I think you have elements of Pope, Sega Pope, but I don't know if you're quite there yet. I think there are, like, some Sega devotee channels, and I think you and me are kind of more like, jacks of trades. So, once you get a Master System, or at least a power-based converter, then I might start to give you that title. I think that's an overstatement, though. In turn, does that title, Pope of Zelda, fit you? Am I the Pope of Zelda? Oh man, I don't think so. I don't think I'm the Pope of Zelda. I'm becoming the Pope of SMT though. It's happening. I've really dug into Nocturne, 4, 4 Apocalypse, 5. I've dabbled, I've finished Persona 4, Persona 5. So it's coming, I have to find a way to best enjoy those first 2 games, though, in the mainline series. The Persona ones I don't much care about, but the spin-offs, too. I've dabbled in most of them. Finished them? No, I haven't finished most of the spin-offs, but I'm working for the SMT title, and I think it's showing. So, yeah. Good question. Oh, you're definitely the Sonic Pope, though. I'll definitely give you that. All right. Alex's Worst Nightmare, a.k.a. Terry309. Got some tea for you, bud. This one's like a peppermint Moroccan tea. I don't know. Are there any games out there you thought were too easy? Yeah, I think recently, I came off Pokemon Omega Ruby, and XP share is just like it's game breaking, yo. Also the bosses, like the gym leaders, they were like so pacified. It was ridiculous. So that one rubbed me the wrong way as being too easy. And then other games in like recent memory, I don't know. I mean, I don't have my backloggery up. I could open it real quick, but I don't want to lose the video footage. Just look at my shelf real quick. Oh, I did think Dragon Quest V got too easy at the end, so that's a shame. Yeah, that's all I got for today on the easy question. But no, it's a good question. Maltamaster wants to know, what is a game you get the urge to play when it rains? Definitely Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is one of those kind of nostalgic games that I think is like good to play in the right environment. On a rainy day, I'd love to just like boot up my town and just relax and hang out with the villagers and talk to them and kind of just it's mindless fun. It's really good. I kind of wish I had those same feelings about Stardew Valley, but I've never really given Stardew Valley its fair shot. So I might try that one day. But, Animal Crossing on the 3DS, especially, it's a great one. The GameCube one's a classic. I would like to own it again, but, I don't know if I need to go back to that. And the Switch one's okay. I would not play the Wii one. The DS one is pretty good. I like that one. Animal Crossing's great. I love Animal Crossing. But I stay away from it because it can pull me from other games. But on a rainy day, hell yeah, I'm booting up my town and picking weeds. Or, I'm going to, bump up my house in terms of value or get some dope furniture. Hell yeah. Or go fishing. You could just have so much fun in Animal Crossing doing nothing, doing absolutely nothing of value. But what are video games? All right, last one comes from Bio Phoenix. What is the most funny glitch you encountered on your own? So this is not a glitch. This is a built-in cheat in Banjo-Kazooie. And oh my gosh, I recently 100%ed the game. I got all the jiggies, all the notes. Even in Bottle's house in the Xbox version, there's like paint, like you could look on the painting and you could do these puzzles and it gives you a bunch of cheats. The final cheat allows you to turn into the washing machine from Banjo-Tooie. But it happens as kind of like a misfire when Mumbo does it throughout the game. But now it actually lets you basically play with the laundry machine skin with the Banjo-Kazooie moveset. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous seeing the laundry machine doing like the spring jump or doing like the aerial beak attack. Because it's just the laundry machine like shaking. My favorite part. Because in order to unlock this, you need to go to the sandcastle in Treasure Trove Cove. And once I got out, I went to the flight pad machines and I flew to the top of the lighthouse and just overlooked everything on Treasure Trove Cove as a laundry machine. It was amazing. I'll put a picture. Alex actually did some good thumbnail mock-ups of it, so I'll definitely use one of those. Best quote unquote glitch, but more so like cheat that I've enabled in a game. So I modified your question, but I think that's a recent one that comes to mind. Hey, that's it for Q&A for me. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learned something today. And yeah, if you've got any questions you want answers to, go ahead and check out the Discord. Leave me that question for next time. I will type it right here. Questions for the next episode. Start here. Boom. All right. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. I will catch y'all later. Bye.